Let's not just skip over. Did I just hear that there was a Brian Adams new album in the can already?
Mm,
Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
he's a busy guy.
no doubt.
I'm not sure how much I can say, so I'll try to be.
Yeah.
There's a couple songs on there that there's one that I guess he's just re-releasing it because he loves the song and he sort of did a re-recording of it. So it's I don't know what album
Everything
that's
I
from.
do, I do
Yeah,
it
no, it's
for
not that one.
you.
That one
It's not
takes
that
care of
one.
itself.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was a couple years ago there was a movie and it was oh gosh I can't remember the actors, but definitely in the the Judd Apatow-y world of comedy and a couple of SNL characters or something in this movie. But there were two singles that were a couple singles that he did, and we did videos for them, and so they're going to be on that record because I was all along going, I like these. These are great songs, man. They need to, it's like working with indie artists, and these songs need to be heard by people, or they need to get a life,
Mhm,
get to
mhm.
have a life of some form. So I'm glad that those couple of songs are on that. One is called "You're Awesome," and one is called uh, "Sometimes You Lose Before You Win." Yeah, that's how it goes, which is
Okay.
the line in the chorus.
Hmm.
But yeah, great songs, and we shot a couple of videos for those already. That's a couple of years ago. So there's a bunch of new stuff, and then there's like three or four things that like I said, they've been singles in the last couple of years. So why not just put it on that record? I mean,
Yeah,
you can do
and
whatever
so
you want,
is there
really.
talk of collaboration? Like when you look back on Brian's career, not to make this about Brian Adams, obviously
Yeah,
talking
no,
with you,
that's
but
fine.
like when you look back on his career, like some of his bigger songs, and certainly the Tina Turner one that he did was massive.
Massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there talk of that like in your camp now, or is it like way
No, is
past
there
that?
anything? No, and a lot of times around here, it's just like it's just happening. There's not any sort of like I would be excited. I want to know about that, even if it's a month beforehand or whatever. And don't
Sure.
say anything
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But usually there's a lot of stuff that it just, I'll say to one of the guys, "Oh, did you get that email?" And he goes, "Yeah, about that thing. Yeah, I guess we're going to the studio tomorrow." And then boom, and then show up and like we did this Christmas special recently. I mean, there was a bit of setup. I did know beforehand, but for example, and we showed up the studio, and it was I don't know if you guys got to see that, but it was we just sort of went in and go I don't know, let's see how this goes, and does anyone need a Christmas special? But it was amazing, and people who saw it, people um, in small towns that I go to or friends of friends that I don't even know, they're going, "Oh, you're that guy?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Oh my God, we watched your Christmas special last night, my husband and I. It was
Nice.
really good."
Nice.
And so he put it together. There's a production company that said, "Hey, we want to do this with you, Brian, and why don't you, I don't know how that conversation went, but why don't you get some people that you'd like to have on your Christmas special?" So it was Barenaked Ladies, the Sheepdogs, who were touring opening for us this was in September when we shot it. Alessia Cara was there. Alan Doyle with my great friend Kendall Carson, who plays fiddle with her, and she's nowadays playing also with Shania Twain. She's kind of a West Coast um, big deal. Like she's indie, but
Hmm.
but she's been doing tons of stuff here. Super talented. And for some of the guys in in this band, there was like, oh, I know that we all know the Barenaked Ladies. The ladies toured with Brian years ago in the early '90s or something. So they all have a friendship. And then the Sheepdogs and us are pals right now because we're touring. And my friend plays with Alessia, so I was like, oh my God, I so want to meet her. Like I just think she's great. She seems like a really good person, and so he set that up. So I got to meet her and fan out or whatever.
Nice. Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
and another really great Canadian artist named Lights, if you know about
Yeah.
her,
Yeah.
and she's amazing. She's in that show. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, and there was a string section. I think that was about it. But that's a bunch of artists, a bunch of Canadian artists,
Yeah.
and everyone
Fascinating.
brought two or three Christmas songs.
Nice.
And Brian pushed for, so we did it down at his studio, and it was like Brian pushed for that thing of the what the Wrecking Crew is. They're 60s 70s group of LA studio musicians, and
Mm.
they played on all that Beach Boy stuff and Mamas and Papas, like just so much stuff, right? A couple of
Yeah.
key drummers, key guitar players, composers that were piano player or bass players, or so like that, in the spirit of that, Brian pushed for, there was me and Tyler Stewart from the Barenaked Ladies at all times.
Nice.
Their bass
He
player,
seems like
Jim.
he would be a maniac to hang with. That guy
Oh, he's,
seems.
I know, those guys are a gas. He is a gas.
Yeah.
And, and a great musician, a great singer. And those guys, they have their thing. They would do a Christmas song, and you're going, yep, it sounds like Ed Robertson, man, or it sounds like the Barenaked Ladies. But we were backing so again, there was like two drummers, upright bass and regular bass, and then we had the Sheepdogs. Like we're all playing at once on any
That's
song.
insane. At the warehouse too,
Crazy.
which of
Yeah,
course is probably lit so well,
yeah. The lighting was
and it's
super cool. Brian
such
was
a
super
cool vibe
hands-on with the.
already. Like, dude.
Yeah, it was. I think the reason people said. Oh man, I just loved that they, like I said, people, seniors that I met in Qualicum Beach, where I moved back to Vancouver Island, so I'm living over there. And I was just at the gym talking to my friend, and this woman goes, "You're in music, or what do you?" This some lady on the treadmill next to me, and I get talking to her. But anyway, the reason I think people love seeing this show is because it wasn't like a CTV or an NBC, like a production, and it's in the studio and everything's been rehearsed to death and everything's perfect and all that
Right.
stuff, or there's lip syncing and all that. It's like we just went in, we would sort of rehearse the arrangement. We'd all listen to it maybe that day or maybe for a few days before or whatever. And I'd show up and everyone's done. It wasn't even a question. It was like, are we all clear on this song? It was just sort of like, okay, let's get going. I mean, I had a couple that I wasn't as clear on as I thought uh,
That you were.
as I should have been. But then,
Yeah, yeah.
it got going. I go, oh, well, I do know Deck the Halls or whatever. And I'll go, okay, we'll just get doing this thing. And we're rehearsing and everyone's hitting wrong chords and making a mistake. But we rehearsed the arrangement between, well, more than once, a couple, 2 or 3 times through. And you go, okay, well, let's do another. Let's just roll the tape. I mean, I think we had tape, compact discs, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard drives. I think we had it rolling at all times, which is always the best because you never know what gold is going to happen
Yeah, like
in a
lightning could
rehearsal.
just boom. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the good stuff is. So some of the stuff we really only played it a couple times, and that's what you heard, and that's what you saw. And there's about 5, a couple guys with cameras and a couple of stationary cameras, and Brian's really hands-on with that stuff because he's a great photographer. He's got that whole career going, and
Right.
I mean, day one of this 2-day session where we had to do, I don't know how many songs, like it was about 12 or something, and the first day. We got 2 maybe, but I mean setup takes a long time. We didn't really get rolling until about 2:30 or 3, and we rehearsed this song, and Brian goes, okay, I'm gonna go in and have a listen, and he goes in, but what he's doing is looking at all the lighting is, the sounds are fine. I don't think he's even worried about that, and he's not worried about what anyone sang or played or whatever, or hey, you guys really need to work on your tuning. There was none of that. He was just in there, I think, just really laboring over how does it look and the camera stuff. And so he go, hey, I'll be right back. And we'd be out there, and after 20 minutes, Alan Doyle would just kick into a jig, singing about whales or something, and then we all kick in, and then we're just going, and then we'd stop and we go, what's going on? I don't know. And then Ed Robertson would say some funny something, which would turn into those guys would start playing a song because that's how those guys roll. And then it was work, but it was a lot of fun, and we were just, I don't know. And then he'd come back in like an hour later. He goes, sorry guys, I just really wanted to get a couple things right. Okay, that one sounds great. Let's and people are like, are we could we do another take? Because I wouldn't mind getting that bridge better. He goes, I think we
Like,
got
no,
it,
it's
but okay, we'll do one more. Okay, but that last one is great. We got it, because
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on. But if you guys want to do it, so it was it was a good group thing. It wasn't like, oh, he's the boss and everyone follow. It was like whatever he was directing it. It was cool to watch him in the whole setting because he was just being a guy in the band, and then all of a sudden he'd step up and he did an amazing duet with Lights. Her version of Deck the Halls, which was like uh, Elliott Smith meets some kind of mellow Nirvana. But that was the way she did it, and we're just listening and going, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's
Yeah.
going to happen
and that's
if
released,
they're
Pat.
it's gonna be out and you can just go watch it on Netflix or what. It came out and they aired it 4 times. It was City TV. So whatever the parent company is, they chose. Might have been Rogers or something. I'm not sure if City TV is affiliated with that because you know how it is with companies swallowing up